Have you guys seen the new cover of Rolling Stone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy,
Heard
this
about
is
it.
the first time there's really been any buzz about Rolling Stone in a while. It's lit up everywhere. And in fact, 2 drugstore chains, Walgreens and CVS, are actually among those refusing to sell the latest edition of the music magazine because of this cover, which features the suspect in the Boston Marathon bombings. Dzhokar Tsarnev?
Yeah, I have the same problem.
It's been a while since
Well,
I read
let's
it.
talk to a magazine publisher, shouldn't we, Steve Forbes?
We should, but I mean, look at that. They portray him as basically a rock star with the picture that they selected, and some readers have actually canceled their subscription.
I'm sure, Steve, you've got a thought of
That
this.
photo has been
I'll
published.
bet Steve agrees with me that it's great to have someone talk about a magazine cover. It's, you know,
Not in that context.
it still
Well, what
has
do you
some power.
think? I mean, Steve,
Actually, yes, in that context, because you know the magazine we once revered for the power of moving the discussion by what we put on the cover there. You know, like I worked at Newsweek, and wow, people took real seriously what was on the cover there.
Yes, but there's a difference between provocative and tasteless.
Yeah,
well, that's why we have the discussion.
Good example. Back in 1938, Time magazine named Hitler the Man of the Year. But the cover was of Hitler at an organ of death. So they had the cover, but it was in the context of this is an evil man. Rolling Stone did not do what Time magazine did over 70 years ago.
Did you and your father ever fight over a cover where he or you thought it was inappropriate?
You would do it all the time. But again, covering a story, that's legitimate. But doing so in a way where, as was pointed out, this makes the guy look like a rock star instead of an evil person. Again, contrast what Time did with Hitler at that organ.
So you think this is very harmful for Rolling Stone?
They get a play from it, but I think people are going to say, gee, you're so desperate you do something like this, it's not going to help.
The Boston mayor slammed it. Thomas Menino came out and just called it absolutely.
In your thoughts, Steve, you're in the technology space, Wired and the rest of it.
But he was also at Newsweek.
And was this appropriate?
I think it's a little over the top to do it, but I think actually the discussion is really valuable here because we're going to get to learn about this kid. I haven't read the story, but I gather it's something that is not like a love letter to him. It's like a celebrity profile. It's the same kind of in-depth story that we've seen other places. He was on the cover of the New York Times, and it wasn't a similar thing, but people are accurately pointing out, boy, this looks like Jim Morrison back there in 1971.
Yeah, that's what
Really
that's exactly what I thought was a Jim Morrison angle.